a massive testing and research effort that's going to involve hundreds of scientists from around the world. By September, we will know what has caused the autism epidemic, and we'll be able to eliminate those exposures.
Secretary of Health and Human Services RFK Jr. contradicting the CDC's findings on the cause of autism, claiming it's preventable. Kennedy now says that HHS will research 6 environmental factors for potential links to the disorder: pesticides, mold, food additives, medicines, even ultrasound, and has promised to provide extensive research on that. Now, breaking from the CDC's assertion that the uptick in cases is due to better technology in early detection. Joining me now to discuss this is neuroscientist and brain-based developmental disorders expert, Dr. Robert Melillo. Doctor, thank you so much for coming on here. This all comes after the CDC revealed that now that 1 in 31 children under the age of 8 are diagnosed with autism, up from 1 in 150 in 2000 and 1 in 3,000 in 1980, 1 in 10,000 in 1970. Kennedy says that something's changed in the late 80s that's causing these rates to skyrocket. Do you think that he might be onto something here? What's your takeaway?
Yes, he's absolutely correct. I mean, anybody that's been out there in the field in education or in healthcare knows that there's absolutely more individuals, that it's not just recognition. As a matter of fact, the research, I wrote a book on this in 2013, that the statistics really clearly show that only about 50% of the increase can be explained through better recognition or any early diagnosis. And that means that at least 50% of the increase is unknown. And that means that it is environmental. There are other factors and lifestyle factors that are actually contributing to it. And it is not because of genetic mutation. So it is absolutely something that we might be able to prevent or at least reduce the risk of. And that was the whole purpose of my book. Yeah, and
RFK Jr. has taken a little bit of pushback here from the other side. But do you think that there's heavy lobbying against this research? Imagine what these answers could do to big food, big pharma, other major industries if they do find something there.
Yeah, it makes no sense, to be honest, to argue against doing this research. I mean, if people don't believe him, then let the research be done. But the fact is, we do know, and we have known for a while, that there are environmental factors that are driving this increase. But what I do disagree with at this point is that I believe it's pretty clear that vaccines do not cause autism, meaning that, if vaccines caused autism, then everybody who was ever vaccinated would have autism. But we know that that's not the case, that it's only a very small percentage. And even most of the people in the vaccine world will say that there's other factors that are at the root. And that really speaks to understanding what's actually happening in the brain of autism, which is where I've spent a lot of my time really researching.
Fluoride is another one that RFK Jr. has really clamped down on. He wants to remove it from the drinking water. Is there any studies linking fluoride to autism? Could there maybe be a connection there?
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, there are many different factors, and you got to understand, and most of them are lifestyle factors, like the age of the parents. I mean, the average parent now is men are over 40 and women are over 35. Many of the environmental factors affect men and women equally, even before birth. So really preconception, there are things that alter gene expression. And without a doubt, there's some research suggesting that, pesticides and plastics and other things can elevate the risk. But I'm not really aware of anything that I was looking at that says fluoride. But again, it's something that we could certainly look at in research.
Well, that's the thing, too. I mean, RFK Jr., the secretary, is really wanting to at least look at this stuff. And I mean, it's important because as we just went through the numbers there, I mean, it's clearly on the rise. And there's got to, if we don't have a solution for it, how are we going to know what we can do to prevent it?
Absolutely. And really understanding, I think more research needs to be done in understanding what's actually happening in the brain, because there's a lot of misconceptions. Again, there is no injury in the brain of autism. The idea that there is an injury to the brain, there's damage to the brain, there's not. In fact, in my research, what we see is, especially in the non-speaking end of it, these people are geniuses. They have areas of their brain that are super strong, and then they have areas on the other side of the brain that may be somewhat delayed, and there's an alteration of how the brain is growing and developing. And in humans, 75–80% of our brain development happens outside the womb. So there's a lot of factors that come into play.
Dr. Robert Melillo, thank you so much. It's fascinating, and we will continue to see how this plays out. And hopefully that research does show us something there. I appreciate your time. Happy Easter to you. Stay with us, everyone. We'll be right back here on this Easter.